Here's your second tip. Focus. Focus. I'm going to make this one really simple for you. It's your job every single day to do the things that only you can do. Especially if you work with an organization, you've got a team. Oftentimes what happens is that we start to do people's work that we really shouldn't be doing. We have team members who are not doing their job, so we decide, well, I'm going to step in and take care of it, which sounds wonderful because things need to be done, right? And remember, I am driven by action. I have a bias for action, which is fantastic. But it's very demotivating to people, especially those who are working extremely hard and doing their part, if we're taking away what it is that they would normally be doing because we're doing it. Focus is the one place that we have control, and it's important for you to be laser focused. Because like any other energy that we have, until energy is focused, right, it gets dissipated the wider that you go. Let me say that again. Like any other energy, unless it's directed and pointed properly, it dissipates as it goes across. Let me be a nerd for a second. Think physics, think energy dispersion, think, wavelengths. You want tighter wavelengths when it comes to that energy. And that's what focus does. You can't have 500 things that you want to accomplish every day. It doesn't align with this first tip that we talked about of desire. It just doesn't. What we want is to have focus. What is it that you want to achieve today? And then you bring it down further. What is it that you want to achieve this morning? Then you bring it down even further. What is it that you want to achieve in the next hour? That is focus. Motivation is killed when there are 50 things that we need to do. And so our energy, emotional, spiritual, mental, and so on, becomes dispersed. And so remember, it's a finite resource, right? Motivation is a finite resource. You don't want to waste it. Here's an example. Most of us have grass in our yards. If you have a lawn, assuming that you live in a place where you have a lawn, which by the way, I'm trying to get rid of all my grass. I don't have any grass in the backyard. I'm planning on getting rid of all my grass in the front yard. Point is, if you have sprinklers, you would want to focus them so that when they pour water on your grass, they only pour water on your grass, not on the street, not in your driveway, etc. That's the point of focus. Too many times we go to work or we go spend time with our family, but our focus is so scattered. We need our focus to be on one thing and one thing only. Here's the thought. There's an interesting book that I think you should get. It's called The One Thing by Keller and Papasan. And in there, they ask a simple question. They say, what's the one thing that I need to do that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? I don't like the word easier, so my replacement for that is simpler. What is it that I need to do that will make everything else simpler or unnecessary? That gives us focus. It forces us to keep pushing towards that one thing rather than trying to get 50 things accomplished at the same time. And probably my favorite tip for you is persistence. Now, this seems like a no-brainer, but I love persistence because, again, it's action-driven, right? Because motivation is action-driven. It's derived from the verb movere, which means to move. So I like persistence because it means that we don't quit. We put in everything that we can and keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Probably my favorite H. Jackson Brown quote is on persistence, and it says this: "In the confrontation between the stream and the rock, the stream always wins, not through strength, but by persistence." Because if you've ever seen a stream, not a huge river, just a stream, it's amazing how a stream over time, it could be years, it could be decades, it just, as long as it's flowing, it will cut through rock. That's the kind of motivation I'm talking about. And the lesson inside of this tip here is all about making sure that we are focusing on moving, on making small steps, on making small strides, on doing everything that we can to get there, little by little, little by little. Because remember, most of the things that we want to achieve won't be achieved overnight. But if we take one step after another, one step after another, one step after another, It's amazing how little by little we can cut through rock. That's what I'm asking you to do.